I just had a great idea, and I'm going to credit Barklor. I think it's great. Barklor, because it wasn't his idea, but I just got it in conversation with him, and I see how it came from that conversation. And especially talking to someone like him about if you're going to be mean to somebody and you have to take the video, because he's not a mean guy that I've ever seen. But I'm a latecomer to a lot of videos. That's another thing. I miss videos that are late because I'll often like, hey, I haven't seen that person's videos in a while. I have to click on their name because I might have missed them the day they came through. I have a lot of subs and they go scrolling by, so I miss people's videos. So I'll go when I have time and look up old videos often. So anyway, so the idea, yeah. So I've been working on this PHI tutorial idea, which, as I said, is sort of motivated by my attitude about the self-help human potential world, which I think that it's good that people want to help themselves, but and I don't mind that people are making money off that at all. Uh, but I don't like I just went to the thing that's the sentence of Landmark Forum, and of course I went for the wrong reasons and stuff. There's lots of reasons. I mean, you could easily people have to try to defend Landmark. Fine, I'm not trying to demonize anybody, but I don't like that way of approaching it. And then the main thing, the main gist, not to go into it all again, is I want to know why something works. If I'm going to the moon, it's not enough. You make it to the moon because you believe you can get to the moon. And if that works, I know that's still not why I got to the moon. It's like, oh, rockets. Is it so hard? I want to know. So I was thinking, well, but people are out there wanting to improve. And they're wanting a kind of a self-help thing. And I also thought, the self-help thing is great. I mean, people in old days join a monastery, the military, not self-help, but go get somebody else to force you into something new. Self-help's, I'm an autodidact by nature. I think that's cool. Self-help, people want to help themselves. So the idea is that this PHI tutorial, I've been thinking, okay, what's the structure? You got mistakes, and you've got responsibility and blame and mistakes, and then next you've got to have invention. You got to be the artist and the engineer. You can break your personality down into whatever you want, but as a relativist approach, that's what we do. Pretend you're five personalities that discuss things. And don't freak out like they're real, because you can pretend you're three. Or you can pretend you're two. We got the two halves of the brain. That's a nice one, so you don't go crazy and just think every possibility. Just engineer and artist. You can't go too far wrong or get too schizo by doing that. Okay, but what I was realizing is probably the best self-help thing I could give anybody, and the most honest, where I won't be involved, you won't be giving your seminars to me, and keep coming to me, you go to the internet. It's how to use the internet to get, to grow, let's say. I won't say enlightenment, because enlightenment, you've got to go out in the world and have spiritual experiences in nature and stuff, I believe. But in terms of sort of an intellectual strength, and the reason this occurred to me is because that's the thing about not deleting your videos. I think it makes you much stronger. I don't worry now if I make a video that goes too far. And literally don't worry. And it's partly because I've done this online. Now, it's also because in my real life I'm that way. If I get intoxicated and say something rude, I don't say, that wasn't me. I don't deny that maybe there's something in my subconscious. I honestly deal with that. And I've always found that I could, if I was honest, say, well, yeah, I do have something against you. I should have talked to you about it. It came out when I was drunk. Or I don't know. I've never said anything totally crazy. I've been rude or done things less smart and stuff that I had to go, yeah, well, I was drunk. But, I more or less in all different moods and attitudes try it. Every other attitude stands up. It's like we're all responsible for ourselves because we're actually one. So that goes for intoxication. I wasn't myself. I've said, and it's almost a joke a couple times, I'm not myself now and I'm sick. But of course I am still myself. But the self changes, and we can use the whole self, or we can use the fact that it changes to have, like conversations with ourselves from different points of view. But that's the PHI approach. I mean, this would be a totally different set of things. How to improve, how to improve your intellectual capability, and really your peace of mind, and in that sense, enlightenment, from online discussions, is a topic I know lots of rules of how to survive it and not let it tear you down and destroy your confidence, or equally not how to build up your confidence if maybe you get a little notoriety, or you just are the kind of person like me that just the freedom of being able to express your opinion leads to a sort of overpowered giddiness potentially. And how all of the emotions that rise up in online discussion, they can be very productive. It's like, and the reason I say Barkler is the one that got me on this idea is because he was very honestly saying, I don't want to be too inhibited. I'd rather put it up knowing that if I have regrets, I can take it down. And that's cool. And it's very honest. And the thing is, that's okay. And it's not very bad, but it's also a little bit like giving yourself an easy out. Now, it's okay if you need it, or if you're sensitive, or there's some people that are really sensitive, they can't take any negativity, then maybe they have to. It's not so much a bad thing that they're doing it, but it isn't kind of an admission of weakness in that case. And if weakness is the wrong word, fine. The point is that it's a little bit stronger and better to be able to uh, stand behind it and make those decisions ahead of time. And so you will become a stronger person. It's in your best interest to do that and to suffer those mistakes. And we live in a world where we're not being as hung down by reputation. If you change your message, our modern society, especially the internet one, will allow that. And we should allow that. We shouldn't allow two-facedness where you pretend to have two opposite positions at once. And that's why full disclosure is so good. But anyway, all I'm saying is, yeah, this is a thing where I think you become a stronger person if you do this. And, some people aren't looking to become a stronger person or whatever. So, um, but yeah, and so it gives me this idea that maybe the way, because I've got a lot of things like that, because you lose your cool. I used to get in huge flame wars. I'm 42. I've been online on BBSs since 1984. And yes, I was a teenager discussing this kind of stuff, and I got in huge flame wars. And I still think I was pretty polite. And I mean, I wasn't polite, but other people started. I just wanted to have reasonable conversations. But things would happen. I go into this thing called FidoNet, which was a national network of messages. It'd take a couple days for a message to get across the country and back, and people replied to it from all over. And they were talking about grammar, and I said, oh, well, words don't have definitive meaning. There are intervals that overlap. Oh, these people freaked out because it was their hobby to get the exact, specific, correct definition of a word. They were just librofile, or what is it, logophiles. And, now as an adult, I realized I wouldn't have pissed on their parade so much. I still would have made the same point, though. I wouldn't have not said. I would just say it differently. I've learned how to approach everybody, tell them the opposite of what they think, to my own satisfaction. Sometimes they still don't like it, but often they do. Often they're like, well, I don't agree with you, but I see you're just making your point, and you're stupid about it, but hey. That's usually the response I get. Now, some people are like, no, Patterns and Chaos is like, no, I don't like you making those kinds of comments on my stuff. Well, fine. I feel fine about it, right? And that's what we're really talking about. So as far as these moral judgments, you don't want to put something up you don't feel fine about. And this is a method to only put things up that in some sense or other you can feel fine about. I mean, I might have made myself look like a fool, but I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm fine with every video in every respect. It's just that I'm fine with it. There's things up there that made me look silly. And overall, it gives a nice consistency. And when people realize they can see pretty much everything, if they wanted to, not that anybody would, there's like, I don't know how many hours of videos up there, but they could. It's not like they're going to get to the video where, and it's deleted, and they don't know if that's the video where I talked about how I'm actually a Nazi. It's not going to happen. Now, there's people that watch me and I don't drink on the camera much, and then if they saw some old video where I came home from a party and I was like, hey, I'm going to talk about politics, it would change their view of me, but it's up there. I'm fine with that. That's happened before. People have gone, like my stuff, gone and seen these things, and they go, well, I question that. And that's fine. I want them to know the whole story. I don't want to get anybody, like in tune with my ideas that would change their mind if they knew something more about my ideas, some idea that I just made temporary. So they're all permanent. They're fixed. We're having a strong growth of a slow and progressive nature through this accrual of a stone-like foundation.